Hey everybody, it's Race Sunday, and today we are at the United States Grand Prix in Austin, Texas. Doing something a little bit more different this weekend. It is a sprint weekend, and
snooze alert.
Snooze alert, and yeah, I'm not showing you the reason why I'm not showing you the card. I'll do that later. Is because there's some events that just happened, and let's talk about it. All right, so. We're at the sprint this weekend.
First of all, I love Austin. It's one of my favorite tracks.
I love the scenery in Austin. I love the giant flag in the back. And this is one of those tracks where it's going the other way.
Yeah.
It's
a reverse.
It's a reverse track.
They have to turn left a lot.
They have to turn, yeah. It's like an ongoing thing, I guess.
Yeah. So, I mean, I normally love sprint weekends, but it's interesting. There was no weather, there was no rain, there was no interesting things. And
I think it was tire management, though, right?
No, I think what it's and a lot of other pundits have been saying this too. I think sprint weekends might actually be really boring, and we've just been lulled into a sense of it being exciting this year so far, because weather always made it exciting.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I agree with. I was watching an interview with Carlos Sainz a while ago, and he was saying that to make sprints more exciting, they should do a reverse grid. So you do qualifying once, no sprint shootout, to get on the thing, and then you would have basically had Leclerc starting from last because he had pole, and it would be interesting. But
so it's interesting we pulled these two because we were talking about fantasy and we thought this is actually what would have been
Red Bull Mercedes was what I thought.
Oh, okay, would have been
free practice, but McLaren's been really great, so it's hard to tell with McLaren. But anyway, so sprint was really boring. I think it was 19 laps of boringness. Nothing happened.
Yeah, I think Carlos Sainz was the only driver with softs.
And he made it work.
He made it work, but he ended up just falling back. Basically he just kept getting gobbled up by the sharks around it. I mean,
Verstappen won the shootout.
Yeah,
Verstappen won.
So let's see who actually came in third. Boom. Carlos Sainz. Wait a second. That's Charles Leclerc. I put the wrong card in there. Anyways, it's Charles Leclerc that...
You have two signs.
I have two signs and no Leclerc, apparently. So, Charles Leclerc, he's standing for... Charles Leclerc. That's a gaff. Charles Leclerc there finished in third in the sprint. And who's in second? Lewis Hamilton. He was so close.
Yeah.
And then...
He wasn't. Max won by 9 seconds.
That is true. And then who's in first?
I'm giving away by saying Max.
Verstappen.
But come on. Does anybody at this point expect it to be anybody else? Max, that's part of the problem why it's so boring. Because Red Bull, at least Max's Red Bull, is far too dominant, and yeah. So,
all right. So
anyways.
Let's talk about the feature race.
Yeah.
All right. With the magic of,
So
pause.
resetting. So I think one of the commentaries I want to say here is about this track. I love this track. It has lots of elevation changes. It's really cool, as you said, to watch. But one of the complaints has always been it's a very bumpy track. It's not the smoothest track in the world, and you can kind of see that. You can hear it when they're going down the straights, and you can kind of see that. And I think that's an important thing to note. But even then, there was because there's no weather, even though it's bumpy or anything, no safety cars. It was a clean race, relatively speaking.
And this is one of those so we're close to the end of the season. And a lot of people at this point are going to play their
the fantasy pool.
In the fantasy pool, they're going to start playing the wild card. So at this point, a lot of people have Limitless left in their cards. So they're going to be playing that. They're going to be playing that. So.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the sprint kind of gave away what we thought was going to happen. Max, in qualifying, was sitting at 6th, so we thought, it's going to be enjoyable. He said himself, he gets to drive up the field, but it's kind of predictable he's going to hunt down. Leclerc had pole, and Hamilton was sitting second? No, Norris, Hamilton was second, Norris was third, or was Norris second and Hamilton? I can't remember now.
Yeah. It was such a boring race.
It was only interesting because of some of the chaos. There was a couple of collisions, but even then they didn't bring out any safety cars.
Well, the main thing with this race was a lot about tire management, right? So tire management was one of the big items in here. A lot of the cars were thinking of doing a two-stopper, and all of a sudden Mercedes thought that, hey, look, you know what? I can actually manage to a one-stop.
But they didn't do it. The only one who did a one-stop in the end was Leclerc.
Oh, wow. Lando.
Yeah.
Amore Cordial. Hey, Lewis Hamilton, P1. It's been a while. It's been a long time since he's.
Well, it was interesting. So Norris was trying to get it was his 50th Grand Prix start, and he was trying to finally get a win. He unfortunately now is, I think, one podium away from, or something like that. So he needs a win, basically, or he's going to tie most podiums without a win.
Yeah.
13. I can't remember who it is he's going to tie it with, but someone from quite a while ago. And Verstappen was looking for his 50th win. So yeah, it was interesting. But why don't we talk about the winners? Because I think we're kind of giving away.
So all right, so that's with holding up all that suspense, let's actually look at who actually came in third. We have Lando Norris.
So added again to his winless
podium. He was leading for a while, and I actually thought he was gonna do well.
He looked good, but the tire strategy, like you said,
failed him. Lewis Hamilton.
He was hunting Max down.
And
of course it's Max.
And then of course it's Max. Oh wait, this just in. Newsflash.
Well, what was it? It was bumpy.
It was bumpy, and
maybe some stuff happened. So yeah.
Sorry. It's now.
Bye Hamilton.
Bye Hamilton. And
Carlos Sainz.
That's the reason why.
Oh, and Hamilton needs to go with poor Leclerc. We found Leclerc. He's going with Hamilton.
Both of them were disqualified.
This is the first time on watching F1 in I don't know how many seasons we've been watching F1 now, at least 4, that we've seen some disqualifications. So yeah, I mean, kind of crazy. They were disqualified because of
the wear on the plank.
So apparently both of them had wears. Now my theory, conspiracy theory, fully admit that, is that Perez and Hamilton were battling it out, and Perez is getting awfully close. Hamilton's getting awfully close to Perez in second. I think Red Bull is trying to ensure Perez still wins, so I wouldn't be surprised if they pointed the stewards towards Hamilton, and I don't know about Leclerc. I don't know why they pointed him towards Leclerc, but anyways, yeah, they both had apparently too much wear on their planks, which you could argue is due to the bumpy track, and so they were disqualified, which is the first thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was like 2 hours. Like, let's talk.
Well, let's talk about your rumbling breaks. Let's
look at the fantasy card. So as a result of the disqualification, this is what happens.
So about 100 points lost.
100 points lost. So like when I looked up the actual results, I'm like, hey, what happened? Why is Charles Leclerc in a negative? Why is Lewis Hamilton in a negative? I knew Oscar Piastri was negative because of the collision. Albon, yeah. But yeah, I was not expecting this. And I actually played Limitless, so...
Well, and I lost 100 points. I was sitting at 339, and now I'm sitting at, like, basically... Well, 9 is not 100. It's, like, 60, but still. It's painful.
Now, I'm going to show you the rest of my other cards. So, I played the normal card. Actually, changed it to Red Bull and McLaren, and it's left. I didn't play any chips at all.
You just put Ricardo back in.
I had to put Ricardo back in because Liam Lawson was out. I still lost points on Piastri, but, you can see at least 50 more points there. And then you played Limitless with, Limitless is kind of useless in this case. So if you play Limitless, rip. It's all right. All right, let's get back to talking about the results. Yeah, so, that was such a weird...
So first of all, it felt like I was so excited to watch these races because I love Austin. Like, we even thought about going to Austin. I'm so glad we didn't because that was just not a good race. Like, I'm sorry, but the sprint race sucked and was boring. And this main race, there was some excitement, but again, like 3 retirements: Alonso, Ocon, and Piastri. Piastri and Ocon collided in the first turn, and so Ocon went out with side pod damage really early. Piastri limped along for a bit, but apparently his engine was damaged, so then he went out, and then I don't even know what was going on with Aston Martin. It's something about his support or something. Poor Leclerc.
Yeah. Well, Aston Martin had problems all...
Yeah, they're having brake issues.
They're having brake issues, right?
Their upgrades didn't work. And the worst part is the upgrades that they brought from Mercedes were working. Hamilton looked amazing. He looked like he was really going to win. And I don't know. I has this ever happened before? Like two people in the top 6 getting disqualified for the plank? I mean, the plank's a new thing they introduced last year because of the porpoising.
That's sick.
So I don't know. I feel like this is a weird odds, but he's wrong outfit.
I know, but we got a green Daniel Ricciardo number out of 99. That's pretty sick.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty sick.
Danny Ric, he's driving okay. I think he maybe rushed his return though.
Yeah, I think he could just held off a little bit longer and let Lawson. I think he could have let Lawson finish the season.
But that's the one that we do have to talk about. Speaking of different random people, okay, so because of the disqualifications, who finally got points?
So, I guess Logie Bear got points in his home track.
He did. One of his home tracks.
He just Logan officially
Sargent
3 home tracks.
Had a great race. He was in 12th. And because of Leclerc and Hamilton being disqualified, he moves into 10th. He gets his first points. I don't know that I'd really want to get my points because of disqualifications, but still, it's a pretty nice card.
I think you could say that points is points at this point.
I think the more important thing here is that Yuki Tsunoda, who already had finished 10th and got fastest lap, so he got 2 points. Because of the promotion, he's now in 8th, so then he ends up with 5 points, but he got fastest lap, so it's 6, and I could be wrong, because the 2 was 7, so he got 6, so he's extra 4, so they now have 11, so now AlphaTauri has 11 to Haas's 12, so there's a chance that AlphaTauri is actually going to pass Haas, and Haas is going to end up last in the constructors.
Yikes. And Haas, with, like you were saying earlier, they had all these upgrades.
They did bring a ton of upgrades. They looked really good to begin with. And
they looked fantastic. I mean, Magnussen was up there.
Well, the problem was Haas, they had trouble with it after the sprint, so they had to break Parc Ferme to adjust the ride height, and so they had to start from the
pit lane.
I think otherwise it might have been in the points.
I mean, it was both them and Aston Martin, but they're both starting the pit lane.
Brakes. It breaks. The Aston Martin broke.
Yeah, exactly. It broke. Well, let's see what this last card is.
Hamilton.
No, this is Verstappen.
Oh, it's Verstappen. I can't tell the angle.
Oh no, so it is Hamilton. Sorry,
yeah, it is
Hamilton. I was looking. All I was seeing was blue, and I was like, oh, it's funny because I was staring at the card for a while. I didn't realize it was Hamilton, but yeah, it's Hamilton. And last but not least, boom, we have Kimi Räikkönen. Oh, that's awesome. If you've ever watched videos where it's always
Kimi Räikkönen says like the funniest things, and yet he never talks. I don't even know how to explain it. He's so sarcastic.
Kimi Räikkönen, that's awesome. Oh well.
I don't know, folks. What do you think of this disqualification? That's my question.
Like, what do you think of disqualifications hours after the race? Like, it's not meant like it's hours after the race that this happened. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm actually really excited to see what P1's gonna say about this because
they went to sleep. They wouldn't have seen it.
They might not have seen this. So let's we'll update you the next time. We won't be at the Mexican Grand Prix, but we'll be watching the Mexican Grand Prix in the next. I think it's the next week. I think this is a trifecta of races. So let us know what you think. Have a great week, folks.